Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome to the show. Sam Somerville joining us here today live from Hurricane, West Virginia as a hypnotherapist at Hypnotherapy. He is amazing at what he does. He's been helping so many people, and his business is located inside a physical therapy office. And he's really part of a whole collective type of holistic health practitioners. We're excited that he's here to talk more about the work he's doing and, of course, how it can benefit you. So, first and foremost, welcome to the show, Sam. How are you?
I'm good, Jill. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, pleasure to have you here and tell us a little bit about the work you do.
Well, basically, we do hypnotherapy. It's a lot like talk therapy, except we kind of roll back to actually see what the problems are. I know a lot of times talk therapy, they hit what the symptoms instead of actually taking the time and digging down to what the main problem is. So if you have anxiety, they want you to do things to help when you have anxiety. In hypnotherapy, we want to dig down and find out what's causing that anxiety, go into a hypnotic state and talk to the subconscious and change some of the things that we believe.
Wow, I'm looking forward to diving further into hypnotherapy, what it is, how it works, and some of the benefits of that. But first, if you don't mind, I'd like to get to know you. Tell us a
Sure.
little bit about yourself. Give us your backstory. Where are you from? And, take us along your journey and your path and how you got here to do the work that you're doing.
Yeah, I think I had a pretty normal life up until maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Had a really rough year. I had lost a parent, lost my home to a landslide, lost my business to COVID. So within about 4 to 6 months, I had some major trauma show up in my
Yeah.
life, and had a pretty rough time for a couple years. Started looking into some self-healing, different modalities, breathing techniques, yoga, just a lot of different things. And I ran across a QHHT, which is Dolores Cannon's hypnotherapy system. It's quantum healing hypnosis technique.
Okay.
I got on the web and found a practitioner. He was about 3 hours away. That was the closest guy here. So made an appointment. We actually went out on the first of the year, on January 1st. He's like, I'm not doing anything if you're not. So we met up. I had a session with him, did some past life regression stuff. Really got me interested in that portion of hypnotherapy. So I started doing some research on schools available. Found the only accredited school in the United States, signed up there, and well, here we are. So it's been an interesting few years for sure.
Wow, amazing. Well, thank you for sharing this. And amazing. I know we all go through ups and downs in lives, and sometimes we don't think we can survive, we can get through it, but you've been through a lot, and here you are striving again. And we want people to know that that is possible for them. They could strive,
Absolutely.
and you're going to help, and you're doing your part, which is pretty amazing. And just curious, how did you ever discover hypnotherapy in general? Did you know anything about it? Did you have any
I did not.
hesitation about
So,
it? And when you learned from that place, what did you think right away?
well, it's not something that I really thought that this was where I was going to end up. Honestly, I think anybody doesn't think I'm going to grow up and be a hypnotherapist or that's where my career is going to go. But like I said, just through my own healing search, different things, what can help, what can we do to get over our traumas, to feel better. I said, and I ran across hypnosis, and then getting into school, it's not exactly what you think. So most people, all you see is you might see stage hypnosis, or you may see some street hypnosis or something, but it's really not like that. They do a lot of weird instant induction things. Not everybody is susceptible to that type of hypnosis. Most people, it's not something that's weird or different. It's a normal state that we all go through several times a day. So it's really it's the last state you go through before you fall asleep
Okay.
and the first one when you wake up. So it's really just a hyper focus. Normally we have a short focus and it's very broad. So we're taking in everything around us all the time where our attention's really spread out. So when you go into a state of hypnosis, what we do is we narrow that focus down to just one thing, but it's a very, very deep focus instead of just being everywhere.
Beautiful. So
Um,
oh, go ahead.
Sure. No, no, no. Go ahead. I was kind of finishing up with that.
No, well, thank you so much. Well, we're excited to talk about, really what is hypnotherapy and what it's not, and dispel some myths today. So, a lot of people though hear, oh, it's stage hypnosis. I'm going to be out there, acting like a duck. No, 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 no. Can you explain what it is? And then we'll get into theory of the
Yeah.
mind as well after this. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really just the subconscious mind and how it runs programs. That's really what the entire notion of it is. So if you don't take the time to get out of your subconscious and change the things that you've learned or the way you feel about things, then it stays forever. Our subconscious is it likes to have the same things over and over and over, and it learns things very, very quickly. Matter of fact, it's way faster than we are at doing anything. So think about when you first started learning to drive. You had your attention on your hands, what they're doing, your attention on your feet, your attention, you're trying to watch your speed, you're staying in the road, you're watching other traffic. And then your subconscious mind picks up all these things and it watches. And then it does it so well that we don't have to think about it anymore. So you're driving down the road, the last 20 miles, you're gone. You have no idea what that 20 minutes have been. But the whole time your subconscious, it's watching your mirrors, it's keeping your speed. So it's a very good thing to learn anything, but what it hates is change. Once it learns something, once you make those neural pathways and those connections, it does not want to do anything else. So when you try to veer away
Wow.
from that path, there's this big, comfortable, nice pathway over here that's always walked. It's real comfortable, it's smooth, it's easy, and you're trying to go up the hill and through brush and you're having an
Yeah.
issue. But there's a nice path over here. It's real easy just to truck back down and get right back in that path. And that's what we do.
Amazing. And hypnotherapy can work just like this. We're here today on a Zoom, right? We don't have to be in
Correct.
person. Does it work any better
No.
in person compared to virtual? Because some people might not understand that either.
No, well, you think about if you come in person, you're going to sit down here and close your eyes and you're going to listen to me. And
Yeah.
that's it. So in Zoom, you can sit down and close your eyes and listen to me. There's no difference. It's
Hmm.
just as effective online as it is in person.
Amazing. Amazing. Now, let me ask, you're working with children, adults, adolescents. What is the age range that, you personally can work with?
Anybody really. So children, that'll kind of bring us into our theory of mind on children and how their
Oh,
brain works. But absolutely, children, teenagers, adults. Children are very, very short sessions. It's you almost play and interact with the child as much as what you actually go into session. When you actually do the hypnotherapy, it's literally 3 to 5 minutes.
got it.
So I'll take us into our theory of mind here. I've got a whiteboard here. I'll show you some things.
Yes, please
Um,
bring it on. Thank you
so
so much.
basically, yeah. So basically, this is our theory, at least the college that I subscribe to. This is their theory on how your mind works. It's kind of broke up into three parts here. You got your
Okay.
primitive mind,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all that we come in with. That's all we're born with. So you know two things when you're born. First off, when there's a loud noise, you startle, and that gives you
Mm-hmm.
your flight, fight, or freeze.
Got it.
And if you go to fall, you will put your hands down to catch yourself.
Natural
So
instinct. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
anything else that you know has been taught or learned from someone else,
Wow.
every part of it. So when you're born from 0 up to about 8 years old, all we have is the subconscious mind. That's it. So we don't
Okay.
have a critical mind, which lays right here. It kind of bridges the gap between the conscious
Mm-hmm.
and subconscious. And here's your conscious mind.
Okay.
So up until about 8 years old, we do not have a critical mind. So everything that you learn from 0 to about 8 years old, you have an association with this, and it's a long-term
Wow.
association. So if you had a great dog, you have a lifelong association that dogs are good and I love dogs. And unless you go take the time to change that, and an event changes it, you'll always love dogs. Or if you had a really big, mean neighborhood dog that always chased you and you were afraid, so now
Mm-hmm.
you always have a negative association with dogs. And it's like this with everything that we can't say no to. So the whole time we grow up, our parents are feeding their philosophies and their beliefs into our heads, and our teachers are feeding it in, and our friends. So we end up with a whole head full of millions of associations. Everything is positive and negative. We have all these associations, and we just keep building all these things up. So what
Wow.
happens when you're about 8 years old is you start to develop this critical part of your mind. So that's what separates your conscious from your subconscious. And the critical mind is the part that lets us decide if something is important and true enough to create new pathways in our subconscious, or if it's not important, it's just daily chatter, so to speak. So what happens is during the day, you get all of these message units, and that could be anything that comes into your brain, whether it's someone talking to you, feeling in your body, you're cold, hot, everything that you come in, these are all message units that come into the conscious mind.
Yeah.
Now, the conscious mind only has about a 90-minute memory on it. So what
Okay.
happens is after that 90, and that's about all you can concentrate. So after about 90 minutes, it's going to start falling down into this critical mind. And what happens is your critical mind has about a 24-hour storage on it. So
Okay.
it collects all these things as they fall out of your mind. And what happens is when you go to sleep at night, you're going to have three different sets of dreams. The first two are organizational, and it's going to
Okay.
go through all of this information and
Uh-huh.
it's going to figure out what's important enough to store long term and what's not. So on that third set of early morning dreams, what happens is all this information you don't need, it vents out.
Yeah.
So when you wake up and you start to catch that dream, and in 3 minutes it's gone because the critical mind and subconscious mind just got rid of it. Your conscious mind can grab it for a
Oh.
second, but they know that they just released it, it's gone. And that's why there's nothing to grab onto. You can't store that because it literally just got rid of it. That's why we can't remember our dreams very long, and it's good to write them down when we first wake up.
Wow, this is fascinating. It's so
So,
true. Yeah, I always remember, and then I
yeah,
forget the whole thing. Oh my! And by the way, just bringing this up, isn't it true? Like we're hypnotized, like sometimes driving, like to like I'm going to my son's school. I don't even know how I got there. Is that a form of
exactly.
hypnosis?
So, yeah, we do dip in and out of hypnosis all day, every day. You're
Okay.
reading a book, you're really into it. Somebody comes up, Jill,
Yeah.
Jill. Oh, somebody's talking to me.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's a state of
Yeah.
hypnosis because you're focused down into that really narrow beam.
Okay. Wow. All right. Sorry to
So what we do
interrupt. Go
in
ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
no, 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 perfect. Ask any questions all the time. So what we do in hypnotherapy is just like when you're a child, you don't have a critical mind to know to say no to these things. So they're kind of force fed into us. So in hypnotherapy, when you get into a really relaxed conscious state, what happens is your critical mind just kind of goes to the side and doesn't really care what's going on. And then that gives us the ability to talk directly to the subconscious. And the things that we tell you can then change those negative to positives or those positives to negatives. So this is about 88% of your mind here, and only about 12% is what we use for thought and reasoning and speech and language. And this pretty much runs everything else. So whenever you're trying to change your habits, it's
Yeah.
really 12% versus 88%. You're fighting an uphill battle, and it's not your fault that you can't change. This is how we work. So through hypnosis, we change these, and then you consciously reinforce these ideas that we go through, and it just makes the changes so much easier. It takes a lot of the willpower out of
Amazing. Wow, thank you so much. I'm learning
it. You're
so much
welcome.
as we speak. And if you are just tuning in, I just want to remind everyone Sam Somerville joining us here. He's a hypnotherapist. We're excited that he's here and, guiding us through the process of hypnosis, the benefits of hypnosis, and the theory of the mind. And we're also going to get into, how a typical session works and what it feels like. And isn't there like hundreds of things that hypnosis can help with? I want to break down some of those things as well. But
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
It's literally anything that you can think of that you want to change how you feel about something or change
fear
how
of
you
driving,
react to
fear of
something.
flying.
Absolutely.
Is
Any
it true
fears, any
hypnosis can help with
phobias.
pain though too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have several clients that we work with pain. Something we do is pretty neat in hypnosis is we'll have them visualize standing at an icy lake, and they'll walk out and up to their knees, and they'll feel that real frigid burn, but
Yep.
it goes away so fast that it just kind of numbs out, and it gets
Amazing.
number and number until you don't
Okay.
feel anything. And then we have them walk out to their waist and
Ah,
walk out to their arms, and we repeat that process. So they create a mental anchor that they can imagine and go back to that freezing, numbing feeling. You can actually tone down your pain with that. There's several different processes. That's just one, but there's a lot of things you can do to help with pain.
wow. Well,
We
thank
got
you
to
for
remember all the pain receptors are in the brain, right?
okay. Interesting. Yeah.
So all the pain we have is coming through the nerves, signals to the brain. So if you can talk the brain into believing that it doesn't hurt, then it actually doesn't.
This is fascinating, fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing this. And did you want
Absolutely.
to, I know in your notes you mentioned that you did kind of want to break down a little bit about how the typical session works, or are we still
Yeah,
talking theory
yeah,
of mind? I
absolutely.
don't want to jump the gun.
No, no, no. I had a lot to cover, so just hit on a lot of different things, but absolutely. So someone's going to come in. Normally, we're going to have about a 30 to 40-minute conversation. We're going to
Okay.
start talking about the issues they're having, and then I like to use the words, now let's back up. Let's back up from that emotion. Let's back up from that anxiety. What triggers it? And then let's back up again. So we keep going back and back and back, and eventually you'll find that there is something in their childhood, a situation that they had, or if it could be a phobia, just something that the situation to them is just so scary that they couldn't imagine it, even though there's nothing that's tied to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So we go back, we go back, we go back until we find the trigger. And once you get that trigger lined out, that's when we go in hypnosis. We realign the association with that trigger. So when the person comes in, set a normal 40-minute conversation, then we start the hypnotic process. So
Okay.
it takes on the first session, it usually takes 15, 20 minutes to get someone really into hypnosis good. And then we tailor the suggestions that they need to help with their issues. We wake them back up. That's kind of the whole process. Some people have time distortion. I have a client, it's like, how long was I out? And I always tell her, and she's like, it only seemed like 5 minutes. She always tells me it's always just like 5 minutes. Some people swear they aren't in hypnosis, but I can watch their eyes and know that they are.
Yeah.
Some people have some amnesia, but whatever you experience, it's just right for you. Everybody's different.
Interesting. Interesting. Thank you so much. And, during the process of hypnosis, some people may be a little nervous or scared saying like, "Hey, I don't know if I could be hypnotized." And how do you know if you can be hypnotized?
Well, the thing is, it is a natural state that we all go into all the time.
Okay.
Everyone can be hypnotized because it's something our body does naturally. Now, getting someone's conscious mind to agree and get out of the way may be tougher, but everyone can be hypnotized. Some people
Interesting.
just take a little longer.
Interesting. All right. Go ahead, Sam. I'll let you continue. Sorry to keep interrupting. I have so many questions, and you're here to
No,
help us
no,
improve
you're
our focus and
good.
concentration. So I need to zip my mouth. Go ahead, because
Absolutely.
your consciousness, you say your consciousness mind matters. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, trying to think of where I was at with that. But yeah, so basically under hypnosis, that's what we do. We change the things that kick those patterns off. And when you get back to the conscious world, you notice that your problems that you were seeing maybe not as intense,
Okay.
or it's not as vying as much for your attention as it used to be. You tend
Okay.
to let things slide off your back a little easier is a real big thing people talk about, that it's just not as heavy as maybe it used to be. And what other questions did you have?
Well, I mean, as for someone who I've never been hypnotized, right? And to me, it's like, wow,
Okay.
is it possible? I guess you can. You just got to agree to it, allow yourself to do it. But I would be nervous for my first time, so I love hearing testimonials and stories about the people you've helped. Could you share one or two? And also, I then want to ask you about, do you also do Reiki as well?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Now, I don't necessarily offer it as an additional service. Now, if someone could come, I would, but most generally, I'll use it in my practice. If someone
Okay.
comes with pain, we may give them a little Reiki, or, there's different situations where I just feel like, hey, this is something that we need for a little bit, and we'll take 10 minutes or so. I've got a Reiki room right on the other side of this room. We've got a table and go lay down,
Well,
get some of that healing energy.
and I was going to say that's a form of energy healing, right? I mean, if you don't know what
Correct.
it is, let me just have you explain if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Reiki healing is kind of like you're just a conduit.
Okay.
You don't actually do any healing. You just, with your intent and intention, lay your hands on or above someone, and you
Mm-hmm.
just visualize channeling that. And that's God's healing energy is what it is. It's love.
Yeah.
And you visualize that. My hands actually warm up. People feel tingles. They feel different sensations, but it's real good with headaches. You can take those away. Someone comes in, their head's hurting a little bit, we'll zap it away with some Reiki. A lot of different things you can do. I said I don't necessarily have a separate Reiki practice, but I do incorporate it into a few times a week. I end up doing Reiki with someone.
Awesome. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Well, by the way, we are speaking here once again with Sam. And if you are like, wait, Sam? Yeah, Sam is pretty awesome because he's here teaching people, that, well, not teaching, telling and changing people's life with hypnotherapy, which involves, deep guided relaxation and focus. Now, can I hear some of the stories about the people that you helped? I think that always is beneficial to our listeners and,
We
and
could,
viewers.
you have to think, let me think a little bit. We are HIPAA, these are people's
Oh,
lives. And
without using their names, of course. But for
yeah, oh yeah,
example,
without names, but still
oh,
just the situations, some
oh,
may be awkward enough or unique enough that someone may recognize. So let me see if we can, um, I will say I had a person come, had lost a relationship, really just down and out, had a rough time. Not, they'd
yeah.
kind of expected and planned their life that this was going to go forward. And it was an unexpected loss with some odd circumstances. We'll just say that. But the person came really just not really wanting to live. I mean, if we're being honest. Now, they weren't suicidal. It's not something that they were considering because we had
Okay.
talked about that. But it was just down, out, no motivation.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, basically. So we had, after about 3 sessions, she was out with her girlfriends on the weekend, which she hadn't done forever. And they just talked about, we can't believe the change in you. You're happy, you're smiling, you're up telling stories, your energy's up, you're having a good time. And it's just through hypnosis that we can get down to those specific problems and get through them.
Amazing.
We really don't heal anything. We really just get over it. When
Got
you
it.
release things, you're really just putting it behind you and moving on.
Now, let me ask you this. A lot of people, when I used
Hmm.
to hear hypnosis years ago when I was little, my mom used it for smoking, and I had an aunt use it for weight loss. Is that still
Absolutely.
exist? Is that still helpful? Those one of the most common back in the
Yeah,
day
that's
hypnotherapy things.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And that's kind of the bread and butter of all the hypnosis people, all the hypnotists. There's a lot of weight loss, there's a lot of smoking. And just because these are things that people have trouble with the willpower to accomplish on their own, we can all do it. Everybody can have the willpower to lose weight. But whenever it's you and it's, the time's moving on and you're tired of doing this or tired of doing that, it helps to have a little bit of motivation from your subconscious to keep moving forward and keep pushing forward your plan.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. What else do you want people to know about the benefits of hypnosis and why you're here today? And of course, how you could be of service to them.
Yeah, it's really anything that you want to change about yourself. You're limited to your imagination. Like you said, the big ones that everybody knows, smoking, weight loss. Big thing is childhood trauma. Again, going back to the theory of mind, if you don't take the time sometime to go back and change the things that we've learned when you're a child, then we carry those. And you may have reactions and react to situations because of a childhood trigger that doesn't serve you anymore.
Ah,
So, and then you can get into things of sports enhancement, motivation to study, sexual enhancement, sexual problems, erectile dysfunction, anything that you can put your mind to, you can pretty much work on with hypnosis. Kind of goes back to we are the placebo. Why does the placebo effect work? Because of people's positive energy that they put forward when they think about what
ah.
they're having done. And it's the same thing with hypnosis. You put people in that positive state and then they just create their own reality.
So really, the power of the mind is pretty powerful, right? And sometimes we we
It's
we
it's
forget that.
everything.
Wow.
It's absolutely everything. It's all the joy in the world and it's all the problems we have all wrapped up in one. We fight the
Interesting.
subconscious constantly.
Ah,
We lose. We're in a very structured loop. We all follow a very structured loop every day. Our subconscious runs it perfectly. So if you want to
amazing.
break out of that loop, um, get with me. I can help you. I got a lot of love for people. I care a
Oh,
lot. I'm very empathetic. I'm here and I can help you. That's the long and short
amazing.
of it. I can help you with your problems.
And let me just ask, what do you love most about your job helping people with hypnotherapy?
It is helping the people. It's whenever people come in and they've got the chip on their shoulder, they've got problems, and you see them leave a little bit lighter, and the next time they come in, they're lighter still yet. And, and by the fourth or fifth time, they're coming in, they're smiling, they're wanting to get right in the recliner, and you're like, no, no, hang on, we got to talk about what's going on.
Hmm.
It's you see changes in people, you see life changes. It's fantastic.
Oh, wow. Well, this is amazing. I'm honored that you're here sharing the work you do and the benefits. Again, we are talking about changing your mind, and that's basically what hypnotherapy is doing. And it's just setting forth, new thought
That's
patterns in a
absolutely it.
sense, right? And helping so many. You also, I just want to ask, with hypnotherapy, in conjunction with other treatments,
Mhm.
holistic treatments. You mentioned where you work, there's other things. So, Reiki, what other services do you provide, or is it just those two?
Absolutely. Yeah, so no, it me personally it's just those two, but I was invited to a collective healing of holistic healers. So we've got three of us are certified Reiki masters. We've got an acupuncture practitioner, we've got a massage therapist, a certified nutritional. She's also a certified herb
Wow.
medicine lady. I don't know what you'd
Okay.
call that, but she does all that
Yeah.
stuff. Um, and a life and business coach. So they had an extra room here. They were looking for a therapist, and through the Reiki community, I'd known two of the girls, and they knew I was doing hypnotherapy, mostly over Zoom at that point. And they invited me out, and here we are in this office. But yeah, we bounce clients around. People come here, they feel better. They can go get their
Amazing.
back worked on with massage, go get some acupuncture, come down and get their head worked on with me. We pass them around. If I'm working on someone with diet, they could take an opportunity to go talk to our nutritionalist. So yeah, I mean
Fascinating.
it's a very good group. There's a lot of beautiful, wonderful people here with a lot of love to give.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Pleasure having you here, and we're excited to be talking to you. Sam Somerville, our hypnotherapist, thank you for all the advice and, of course, giving us an insight into what hypnotherapy is, what the benefits are, because you're helping so many people. Thanks again. Sam, at this
Absolutely.
time, why don't you
Jillian,
tell us?
you've got my link. You come see me. I know
Okay.
you've got some stuff in your childhood there we need to get rid of.
Oh, sure do. How did you know? You picked
We all
up on
do.
it?
No, it's all of us. Every
Oh,
one of
it's
us.
it's bad. Yeah. We could talk about that next time. I don't mind chat. Are we back on again
Absolutely.
soon, Sam?
We're not scheduled yet, but we may be.
Well, I hope we do, and I'm an open book, and I would love that. Thank you so much for offering. And
Thank you,
now,
Jill.
please tell the listeners how we can reach out to you. Could you share your website and contact
Absolutely. My
information?
website, my last name's kind of hard to spell, but it is samsomerville.com, and that's Somerville. And thank you so much for having me, Jill. You guys have a great day out there.
Pleasure. Thank you. You too. And we'll
Thank you,
talk
ma'am.
soon, I hope. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.